Hi, this is Leetcode question, permutations. In this example, there are three numbers, and so the number of permutations will be 3 factorial, and that's because the first number we can select 3, then we can select 2, then 1, so in total we have 6 permutations. Now we will use backtracking or DFS or recursion to solve this question. The function takes 3 vectors, the original nums and the final answer vector and the current permutations, and the initially the current permutation is empty, so this is current, and here we check if the size of current equal the size of nums. In this case it's not, so we need to iterate over all numbers 1, 2 and 3. We start with 1. We check if 1 is in the current. No, so we push it to the current vector, and after we push it we call the solve again. So again we will call solve, and we will return back to these two numbers later on. Now again, after we call solve with current equal 1, we need to iterate over all numbers 1, 2 and 3. Now is 1 exist in the current? Yes. In this case, if it exists, this condition will not apply, so we don't do anything with 1. 2 does not exist in the current vector, so we push it, so it become 1 and 2, and after push we call solve again. So we will return back later on to 3. After call solve again, this is still not the size of nums, so again we check 1, 2 and 3, but 1 exists, 2 exists, 3 does not exist, so we push it to the vector and it becomes 1, 2, 3. Then we call solve again. Now after calling solve, now the size of nums equal the size of current, which is 3, so we push this to the answer. So answer now has this vector 1, 2, 3, and we return from this call. So return back here. Now after we call solve here, we pushed 3 to the vector. Now we pop this 3 because we are passing by reference, so we pop this 3 and we return back to the previous state where we have 1 and 2, and the same for this. So here we are done with all values of 2, and that means now it's the turn for 3. So here again, now it's the time for 3, so 3 does not exist here, so we push 3, 1 and 3, then we call solve. Now all the number 1 exists, 2 doesn't exist, so we push it to the vector. Now we push this to the answer 1, 3, 2, because this is valid permutation. We are done with all the values of 1. We have 1, 2, 3. Then we return back here. So we're done with 1. Now we need to start with 2. Here we need to check number 1, 2, 3. 1 doesn't exist, so we push it So here we have 2 1, then 2 1 3. So we push this to the answer, 2 1 3. Then here we'll have we tried 1, now it's 3 2 3, then 2 3 1. So we push 2 3 1, and after done with this branch we also need to call for 3. So at the end there will be another 2 value starting with 3, so 3 1 2, and 3 2 1. So what is the time complexity for this is the number of permutation, and for each permutation we need to push to the answer the whole vector when it's ready. So, and the length of a vector is the length of nums, which is n. Assume the length of the nums equal n, so time complexity will be n factorial multiplied by n.